They switched it up a little bit with the picks. We saw a Jerax Kunkka. We saw a no-tail Abaddon. And in the end, it did not work out so well. And Team Random was able to bring us here to Game 3. I'm Zyori, joined again by Draskell. This is our final cast of the Kiev Major. Draskell, it feels like we just started. But here we are, going to end our casting series with a Treant Protector first pick. I like it.
Can't complain. Got to see a... Well, I think we saw him once yesterday, right? It was like one yesterday and then one today.
Yeah.
So out of all the games we cast, which I guess is 9, right? Because we had 2 2-0s and this will be a 3 game. So yeah, 9 games total, 2 trees. And not really shocked to see the Monkey Kings banned. Was kind of expecting that after the first game. Very different heroes being picked actually from the first and second game so far. Not a single one of these has actually been seen in the entire series.
Yeah. Ember Spirit Dazzle. Well, Ember, great against Treant, not in terms of pushing towers, but just in general team fights against the living armor. A lot of damage over time, cuts right through it.
The Dazzle is the more interesting one to me.
Yeah.
Ember is a super strong hero, and I feel like has been for a really long time, but I'm looking at Dazzle and I'm thinking to myself, the first thing is like Illusion Hero and or minus armor strat. Those are the ideas that immediately come to mind. So sometimes Naga, sometimes, you know, you would actually like Shadow Fiend or Slardar, you know, another hero, Venge, which Team Random and a lot of the other teams at the Major so far have been picking a lot. But it's a very different direction, and it is Team Random. So
yeah.
I'm really curious to see how they follow it up.
Naga Siren. Well, a classic for OG. Go back to the Illusion carry. All right.
That is a nightmarish combo of heroes, actually. So you have one hero who keeps towers alive, pretty good lane presence, gets across the map relatively quick as well with the passive. Then you have another hero who pushes out lanes forever. Like, pushes out lanes to a point where you might not get to see that tower again until it's full HP.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit worrisome playing into that particular hero combination, and that's not even including the fact that, you know, what if Tree gets Aghanims as well? Then it's like complete and utter map dominance, right? Like you're just killing everything on the map all the time. It's very scary to think about.
I like this third ban though. Team Random take out the Enigma, something that OG do play in the off lane. Combos very nicely with that Naga Siren. Good team fighter.
Well, Fly and No Tail play it, right? They both do?
I think so, yeah. That's a fair point. I guess they could jungle it. I shouldn't say they only offlane it, but it's a bit of a flex pick. Also, isn't Naga pretty good against Ember? Just the ensnare, lock him in place so you can't remnant away when you're locked in the ensnare, correct? Isn't that a recent change?
It's a root, and roots make it so you can't use any movement abilities. So yeah, it's tricky though because hitting the net on the Ember is tough because it has a travel time. So he can like sleight of fist, remnant away, or whatever.
That's true. It's a pretty easy projectile to dodge. Yeah.
If it does land, it's devastating for sure because it's a very long one too. I think it's like 5 seconds. Yeah, 5 second disable.
Right.
So.
All right, I like it. Timbersaw, third ban now from OG, a hero we have. I think it's the first time we've seen him touched, banned, picked, thought of.
It's a good anti-illusion hero, and it's also very good against Tree. So. If you want a safe lane Naga to succeed, in the lane, Timber is also good against Naga. He can clear the illusion, split push very well. There's already an Ember that they have to deal with. So it's pretty much an all-around great hero against both of the heroes that OG currently have at the moment. The Bristle ban is a little bit... I know he's been picked a handful of times.
So,
I think...
Do you think they just banned that out thinking, well, Timbersaw is the hero we would want to pick to counter Bristleback? With Timber out... Bristle could be kind of scary. You know, Ember, not a high armor hero. I guess Dazzle has Weave that kind of counteracts the AoE physical from Bristleback, but...
I mean, to a degree, yes, but at the same time, I think it's the hero that Ana plays. And they already have No Tails hero. So I'm guessing they just did the thing they did in Game 2 where they were like second phase banning, you know, some Ana heroes. And I guess they just wanted to get rid of the Enigma because they know that they have a defensive support no reliable, like, super easy black hole cancel, and it's also a hero that farms a ton in addition to OG already having 2 relatively greedy heroes. I guess that would be like the primary line of reasoning, but okay.
Well, great against illusions.
Is this the first ES? I want to check. I don't actually know if ES has been picked.
Look it up,
I kind of
man.
feel like he has.
There's been a lot of games, so it's not that unreasonable that he's been picked up at least once, maybe twice, but definitely not a popular pick. Again, they'll grab the Disruptor to combo with the Naga. Easy setup. Even just illusions being kind of a mobile ward, to overuse that term a little bit. Set up for glimpses on the Disruptor, all that kind of stuff. Just a lot of good AoE team fight now across these 3 heroes. And another way to handle the Earthshaker.
Yeah, this is the combo they crushed with in the first game. The Disruptor Naga Siren. It can be really, really good. Big difference, though, is that they don't have... I guess the tree kind of acts like a vision hero, but it's not quite as good as Monkey King, because the Monkey King pretty much has flying vision while he's in trees, whereas the Treant Protector doesn't.
Yeah, so this might be a little too greedy, but what about Axe for OG? Great against Dazzle. You've got a lot of good setup for him between Disruptor and Snare, even just Leech Seed for him to close the gap. Also pretty good against Ember.
You know, I don't mind that at all, to be honest, because you can put it in the off lane, you can armor him. You know, we see a Dazzle and an ES. Maybe, you know, potentially the ES is in the off lane. But, you know, so far, it doesn't seem like the off lane's going to be particularly hard. And again, double defensive heroes means they can't really contest his jungle. So, yeah, I don't see any reason why not. It's definitely a hero that S4 likes.
All right, Troll Warlord now.
OG's turn to pick.
An interesting choice. Ensures some late game for Team Random, no doubt. Does pair nicely
Needed
with
a
Dazzle.
tower hitter.
Yeah, nice Sieger too. My only complaint is their team doesn't really benefit from Battle Trance all that much. Not that that's a necessity to make Troll work. He stands on his own without it, but not a particularly large amount of synergy that I'm seeing here, just across these 4 heroes.
Reserve time.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering as well. The only thing that I can potentially see is it's very hard for Troll in some games when the enemy team has a lot of single target lockdown and can keep you in place long enough to burst you. Like, think of when we were watching the EG game earlier, right? They managed to like burst down Artesia a few times, and you called it, man.
There it is.
Axe brings the axe. Yeah, it's a really solid hero in this situation.
Yeah. Also, it's good against Troll too. Good lockdown for him. Get a blade mail, not too bad.
Oh, trust me, I have discussed at length how gross Blink Blade Mail Axe is. Like, for the net worth, it is hard to find a hero that can deal more damage to a core than an Axe can.
That's
like
fair.
that hero is super, super strong.
Pure damage, baby.
So now
it's a nice change.
I'm looking at Team Random and I'm thinking, you know, what's your last hero? Is it a Faith Beyond Shaker, or are they gonna pick something else for him at the end here?
That would be interesting. Position 3 Shaker. I have not seen that in a while. The little bits that I've seen Earthshaker picked up, it's mostly just been in either a 5 or kind of a roaming 4 role. I've not seen the 3.
They banned Lena.
Well,
so
it's a good high tempo mid. I think Invoker could be a nice 5th pick for OG now.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah,
Again,
but
a little
Team
greedy.
Random bet.
5 seconds.
I don't know. I think they want something. Yeah, Invoker's actually okay.
It is a bit greedy, but it just combos nicely with, I mean, Sunstrikes all day. You've got so many ways to set that up.
Yeah,
Magnus.
You get the Kinetic Field Static Storm, and there's Overgrowth actually as well.
Yeah.
So you can like Overgrowth into a Meteor Deafening or whatever. It's a really strong combo.
Magnus is also still in.
You mean for G?
Well,
or you mean for Team Random?
I was thinking... Well, I was thinking OG might want to ban the Magnus here. More just commenting that he's made it all the way in, and we saw him first picked with some priority earlier. I mean, it could be okay for OG. I don't know that it's great here. I like Invoker a lot better for them.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Mag is much more likely for Team Random if they were going to be the ones to pick it. I think
Yeah.
Faith Beyond can play it.
I mean, Troll
And they
Mag
can
is
just have
always
like their
scary.
Shaker Dazzle support. Yeah, so OG think that is a support duo, the Shaker Dazzle, because they banned Bat. So it is going to be a Faith Beyond last pick. So what are they going to get for Ana? Invoker is still a good option.
If not Invoker, what else is there?
OD.
10
OD,
seconds
yeah. Another big team fight ult. The Aura, very handy for the 5-man.
5 seconds remaining.
It is something that Ana likes to play. It's a pretty good matchup against Ember as well, and a very good against
Reserve
Troll.
time.
Because if the actually it's good against Dazzle too, because what happens is if a hero gets graved, you banish them 1 second after the grave, and they always die 100%. But it is going to be the Invoker, okay? So
All right. 2 for 2,
the
baby.
Wombo combo, you nailed it, dude.
This is a sick draft, though. They've got a little bit of everything. Good setup, good team fight, and whoa, here's the curveball. Team Random live up to the name. They 5th pick the Broodmother.
This is going to be
Don't they have a pretty good team against Brood? Like Axe, notoriously pretty good. I think Invoker.
no.
No?
Let me help
break
you
it down.
out, 'cause
Hit me with
this
it.
is a huge misconception. that
Okay.
Axe really owns Brood. In the lane, if the Brood is good, the Brood will win every single time. And I would expect, I'm guessing it's Faith Beyond playing it. I would expect him to know the matchup quite well. So the trick is when you're playing against Axe, that if you're going to skill spiders, you pretty much farm the woods, or you farm behind the tower, or you just don't skill it at all, and you get your passive and your web, and when you get level 6, you just hit the Axe. Because your lifesteal from Insatiable Hunger will be more damage than Axe can ever do to you without the help of your own creep wave attacking him, and then you just kill him. So what I think is more likely is that they will just do normal lanes for OG. The tree or the disruptor will carry dust at level 1, and they will just kill the Brood, because Leech Seed plus Orb of Venom and a kinetic field is just dead. Like he'll just get smushed. So I'm wondering if that's the combo though, because at the same time they have Dazzle. So if they go Spider into Shadow Wave, it can also be something that is pretty devastating, right?
Yeah.
It's a really off the wall draft from Team Random. Their name kind of indicative of what their draft actually is.
Yeah, dude.
But it's really, really out of left field.
That's crazy. So, Troll Warlord. I like it with the Brood. At least there is some combo power now where, sometimes you see heroes sneak away where Brood just doesn't quite have enough damage. And I think Battle Trance can be that difference maker in certain situations. So, high expectations here. Game 3, folks. Very exciting. Andy, I'm pumped. I haven't cast a Brood game in quite a while. High expectations for Faith Beyond, indeed.
I mean, I think it's still going to be tough. Like, what if Jerax and Fly just go to that lane and just murder him? Like, Jerax already has 2 sentries. So, I'm kind of looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, how much is Faith Beyond going to get? Because whenever you have a Brood on the team, it can either be a boon or it can be a liability.
Yeah.
And most of the time, there's no in-between. It's either you have a super good Brood or a Brood that just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I've even seen games where a team can shut down Brood, but the cost can add up so much that it's totally worth it. It's a hero that often you need sentries and dust. One or the other isn't sufficient. I think Disruptor maybe changes that a little bit because of kinetic field. You can't just run over the trees, but still, that investment can be quite large. So even if you kill him a couple or 3 or 4 times in lane, even Brood's a hero that can recover and still just soak up your jungle so quickly when you're team fighting or pushing elsewhere on the map.
Yeah, I'm really gonna have my eye on the Brood, as it were, to see, how he deals with this. But for the moment, it seems like OG are actually gonna dodge, and they're gonna put it in the 1v1.
Yep.
So they've given S4 like a ton of regen, or I guess he just buys a ton of regen on his own. And I guess what probably happens is both heroes just creep cut.
Is this a first blood? Dazzle's in a lot of trouble. They've got the damage. He skills up heal instead of grave. They've got another ensnare from the Naga Siren, and now this Ember Spirit, he's also in trouble. It's a twofer.
Jesus.
It's a BOGO. Buy one, get one, bottom lane, Draskell.
That is definitely not what you want. And I don't think they were expecting this lane setup either. I think they were kind of hoping that it would just be standard lanes, but it does mean that Shadow is going to get the matchup in the middle lane with the Troll, so a lot better of a matchup, I think, than putting the Invoker against Ember, because again, Tornado can just dispel the Flame Guard whenever. But at the same time, it puts Blink in kind of a sacrificial role, because if they keep this tri lane down here, it doesn't even matter if the Brood wins his lane at that point. It's more just like a matter of, okay, our Ember is going to get totally shut down. He's going to be underleveled and underfarmed. Whereas the Naga, I think, has a little bit more flexibility, because the Ember is the one who has to kind of, you know, dictate the mid-game tempo. He's kind of their biggest damage hero and their initiator.
Right. Oh, down bottom. Stun onto No Tail. Getting kind of low here, but Glimpse back will keep them alive. Blink doing a lot of damage with this Flame Guard, but now it expires, and it's the Dazzle that's in trouble. He's still only level 1. Jerax winning this boxing match, but he can't quite finish him off. He will go down instead. And it's actually a kill the other way. Team Random, they survive through it, and Dazzle will sustain back up. He's got a couple of tangos here, so he should be good.
And maybe he thought that he wasn't actually going to be able to get the last hit. I don't know, that was weird. Like, he had the Orb of Venom on him. He was, like, running him down. He had the Windlace as well. Or I guess maybe he bought that after he died. Yeah, I think he bought it after he died. So maybe he was just unsure if he could get the last auto attack off, and then just, like, bailed. Ends up getting himself killed. It's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah. So for now, though, this is pretty good for S4, right? At least in these earlier levels. He can kind of bully this lane. He can at least farm, pull aggro on the creeps, and contest the neutrals, as we're seeing here. Looking at the CS difference, Brood is winning, but by pretty small margins. So, you know, even if Faith Beyond gets farm, S4 is guaranteed to at least get an okay laning phase. Better than the jungle.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure if Faith Beyond is super comfortable in this matchup. But I guess time will tell.
What makes you say that? Is he feeding spiders or something?
No. He hasn't fed any spiders, but in the first few waves, it is the hardest part of the matchup, I think, for Brood. But as you get more levels and more spiders, actually hold that thought. And a middle lane.
Oh, and also down bottom, they're looking to fight. Ana eats the Fairy Fire, almost survives, but Shadow does finish him off. The tower, not quite enough. Now back down bottom. Now a little too slow. The Ember Spirit will fall. So 1 for 1 across the map. Both teams losing some cores.
Here we go. Okay, so this is what I was expecting out of the lane. So the Brood has to start to ignore the Axe, because you can't just contest them on the creep wave, right? So you just get your spawn spiderlings going, you hit the creeps, you just farm, he farms, and eventually, you know, you get 6, and then he has to either TP out or he needs help.
Right. Okay. Well, still a couple levels to go here. Down bottom, initiation onto the Ember Spirit again, only level 2, but Dazzle's here. He does have the Shallow Grave. He pops it out. That'll buy Blink a little bit of time, but I think he's still dead here. No Tail just waiting it out. 2 more auto attacks, and they'll find it. Jerax now getting low. Dazzle almost brings him down. Ice does not have the damage with the stun, but it is Y that's able to finish him off. Now Fly heading back towards the tower. No Tail out of mana. That's where it will end. The 1 for 1. But core for support, I think OG will take it.
I mean, the thing about this lane is the Ember is still technically farming a little bit better than No Tail, but he's also died 3 times, and No Tail has 2 kills. So, regardless of how much CS you're getting in a situation, I don't know if Random can afford to keep this lane down here. You know, I think it was almost to a degree better when they sent Ice to the middle lane and they got the kill on the Invoker. You just have to be a little bit more on point with your communication, because when you show the Earthshaker, of course, if there's a tri-lane bottom, they're going to run at your safe lane hero. Like, you got to communicate that, okay, we're going on the Invoker, you got to back. Otherwise, you're just going to get punched by a freaking tree and die.
Mid lane going very well for the Troll. 28 last hits compared to the 10 of the Invoker. Huge margins there. Of course, dying does set him back quite a bit, but Troll absolutely dominating at this point. Up top, S4 going to get sandwiched a little bit here. Faith Beyond on the way in. Dazzle does not have Poison Touch, so no way to slow him down. However, Earthshaker does have a stun. Going to be a close call here. The heal bomb from Dazzle, not going to be enough. Meanwhile, down bottom, Blink dies again. The aggro try from OG gets yet another kill.
And that's even after wasting all that time. Again, it's just about, you know, the support shows somewhere else on the map. OG kills Blink. Happens every single time. Unfortunately, he hasn't really been able to play far enough back to avoid those situations, but for the time being, he's just getting brutalized now. I mean, sure, mid is going super well for Team Random, but Invoker is kind of one of those heroes that can recover. You know, he can go to the jungle, throw out Sunstrikes across the map like you were talking about, lots of stuns, things that hold you in place, and he can contribute. The Ember actually has to physically be in the fight, and then he also has to be farming at the same time. So it's a lot harder for him to make that comeback than it is for Ana.
That's true. One of the other aspects about the Ember Spirit as well is to do damage, he has to be in the front line. So if he's not higher level, if he doesn't have an item advantage, it's just easier to say, okay, he's not intimidating, we're just going to turn and right-click him instead. And that's when Ember really feels like he can't get a lot done. Now JRX down bottom takes some damage from Ice Ice, but No Tail is nearby. We'll just head back to the tower and everything will be just fine. Meanwhile, in the jungle, JRX scouts Blink rotating over. And they won't have the resources to go for a kill. Ana farming the jungle now, opening up for Fly to soak up some XP in the mid lane. This is something that you see OG do pretty commonly. Give space to the supports any time that the jungle's being utilized by another core.
Well, it makes sense in this case because, you know, Ana was already struggling anyway. Be honest, farming the jungle when he's losing mid this badly is probably better. Because that way, like you mentioned, you know, Fly is at least getting something out of it. And even though he's not going to be hitting creeps, he wouldn't be hitting creeps anyway. So getting that 6, obviously going to be really nice for him if they can manage to do it. But he is making his way towards the top lane. Maybe a little bit worried about S4.
Dazzle now level 4. He picks up that Poison Touch. And how's the Brood Mama doing? Pretty close to level 6 and has the Phase Boots. And whoopsie.
And Blink actually gets a return kill. Nice.
Yep.
On No Tail of all heroes.
Missed that one. Sorry, gang. Sleepy time here. I need to wake up.
Come on, it's only 4 a.m. You've
Yeah,
had longer nights than this.
It's really not that bad. Tunnel vision.
Yeah, so for the moment, Shadow is definitely the glimmer of hope here for Team Random. And I suppose, you know, Faith Beyond, he's getting his farm. S4 is getting farm as well. He's just got a lot of denies. Like, he's been able to pretty much get every single deny on the creep wave, because you never really want to walk into the axe to go for the CS. That's why it's, like, so important for the Brood to be creep cutting, because you don't want the axe to be able to drag your creep wave with him on top of where you're farming. That's, like, the worst case scenario for him.
Yeah.
And then the middle lane, Fly still soaking up some EXP. And JRX is pretty much doing the same. I guess Blink has made the transition into Iron Talon. It's pretty common when you're getting shut down really hard in lane to do this.
Yeah.
You just want to make sure that you can, you know, farm the jungle kind of effectively as the supports have kind of dissipated and are just kind of trying to be effective, get some levels, maybe get some arcane boots if you can, either Ice Ice or Y. But yeah, things pretty quiet at the moment.
Yeah, started as kind of a bloodbath, and now things really quieting down. Looks like S4 will go for the Vanguard first. Great choice against the Brood instead of just rushing Blink. Lets you be a little more aggressive and just spam out those right clicks. Pull creep aggro anytime you want. Also lets you farm in the jungle really quickly. It's a great farming tool for Axe.
Yeah, I used to see this a lot too when to be able to stack every minute. Feels like ages ago that you could do that.
I know,
But
right?
you used to buy Vanguard and then one of your supports would like quad or quintuple stack the Ancients and you would just get like 1,000 gold.
And JRX solo down bottom on the tree, just about to be level 5. And finally, we're seeing Team Random put pressure on this tier 1 tower. Ice Ice, level 5 on the Earthshaker, so pretty close to that point in the game where Ultimate's about to come out on some of these supports. Might open up some team fight potential.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, the ultimate on the Earthshaker is not really a huge deal. He only has 1 point into Aftershock. They are going to go for a smoke, though. So they're going to go for the gank onto Ana again.
Yeah, Earthshaker amazing in these kind of scenarios to try to block him out. But Tornado connects on 2. Very nicely done. Still Shadow able to close the gap. And the follow-up Fissure is more than enough. Shadow gets another kill, furthering his net worth lead. Almost doubling that of the Invoker. Like 80% up on him. This is one of the most one-sided mid matchups I think we've seen yet so far, Andy.
It's really hard for Invoker, I think, in this matchup. And also he's been ganked twice, so that's definitely not helping the cause.
Yeah, certainly not. Overall, what are we looking at here? It's Random with about a 1,200 net worth lead. A small experience edge for OG. I think some of that because No Tail's been spending so much time in the jungle. Oops. Working towards the Radiance. Only 1,200 gold, so still a ways to go, but he's keeping up. Naga, middle of the pack. You know, he's on pace for a reasonably timed Radiance.
Yeah, S4 has actually done way better in this matchup than I was expecting. I don't know... Oh, man. His spiders are getting murdered, too. I guess they have the sentry down, so they're able to reliably get calls on it. Like, Faith Beyond's actually been pretty good about not feeding his spiders in the lane, but he has been kind of bullied a bit more so than I would have expected. But I guess he just didn't want to risk pulling heroes up here, because if that happens, then it's really, really difficult for him. He's going to up the Insatiable Hunger.
Yep.
Not going to dive, though.
Thought they weren't going to commit for it. Meanwhile, they kill the Earthshaker down bottom. Just a 2-on-1. Looks like they just caught him out of position. Disruptor is now level 6, though, so he's got Static Storm online, ready to rock and roll. They really can't kill this Axe, man. The Vanguard is huge. He's already halfway towards the Blink Dagger. Looking at Vanguard.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Vanguard,
go ahead.
You don't need Tranquils anymore.
Yeah.
So you can just keep the Vanguard and then go for different pair of boots.
What do you like on Axe? What's the go-to boot now?
I think Phase is really good. When you have Phase and you have Battle Hunger on somebody, you're like crazy fast. The other option is obviously just save for bots if you have like a really good game.
Yeah, it's true. Bots are never bad. Rotation up top. Maybe looking for something on the Brood. JerX does have 4 dust. He is prepared. They do catch Faith Beyond, but now they need some way to lock him down. Glimpse. They'll lock him in place, and the Sunstrike, nice follow-up. They'll actually give it to Ana. So important for this Invoker to get some of these recovery kills. It's actually great for OG. Now Dazzle, he's lingering around. Fly drops the kinetic field. They'll press forward. It's a 3-on-1. He does not have mana for Grave, though he does have a TP. Y actually trying to finish off Fly, but will not be enough. Axe finishing off all those spiders as well. S4 getting a lot of money there. Meanwhile, No Tail, Song of the Siren. Delays things, gets to the shrine, heals up. And Shadow Ice will just retreat.
Well, this has been pretty lackluster Brute performance so far, unfortunately, for Faith Beyond. He's not really had much of an impact. He is going for the recovery Midas, I guess. It's going to be like a 14 or a 15-minute Midas. And in the meantime, S4 has almost got a Blink and a Vanguard. So this pick has not paid dividends at all for Team Random. And it's going to put a lot of pressure, especially on the Troll, for example, and the Ember Spirit, because the Blink and the Vanguard combination is going to come out so fast. It just means that he's going to be able to get his Blade Mail on top of that. Right now, OG are feeling like pretty confident, I would say, with their laning phase, considering even though No Tail didn't have like a great lane, he's still, you know, 2,200 gold on top of Arcanes at 13 minutes in. That's a perfectly respectable time, considering the fact that they pretty much sacked him.
Yeah.
So, I'm having a hard time seeing the value in the Brood at the moment.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm really impressed by the Invoker, though. The recovery that you're talking about has now become a reality. The Hand of Midas is up. He's farming away in the jungle. Oh, Sunstrike. I heard it somewhere. I don't know where it went, though. Either way.
I couldn't find it either, actually.
Number 2 on net worth. It's really not too bad. Still pretty far behind the Troll. But that's okay. Rotation mid now from 3. Set up onto Fly. Big follow-up damage. Even the Echo Slam. But they will find a clean kill.
Yeah, these teams are not holding anything. They just always use their spells straight away to ensure the kill. And I think most of the time it's the right play. You know, again, level 1 Earthshaker ulti, when you only have 1 Aftershock, it doesn't really... It's just a little bit of damage, you know? It's like a bonus nuke. It's not really holding anybody in place.
Right. Up top, a little damage on this tier 1 tower. Treant starting to heal it up, but they're going to need more than that if they actually want to keep it alive. There is a glyph available, and S4 just lets it go.
He misclicked, because he called, but he didn't blink.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing he was trying to like call in and blink the spiders after the glyph. But
maybe one of the baby spiders hit him or something. Here we go, Shadow in the Roche
nice,
pit.
though.
Yeah, very smart play.
Oh no.
Set up onto Brood. Yeah, that's going to be a Sunstrike kill. Ana gets another one. This Roche going to help out Random quite a bit. Ice trying to make some space for it. He might just have to sacrifice his life. It's a 3-on-1 and they'll bring him down. S4 dunks him. No, he doesn't dunk him, actually. I heard the sound effect, but I think he just got the spins.
No, he dunked him.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Comes off cooldown. I'm such an idiot. What am I thinking? But now Roche is available for the taking. This is actually a disaster for Random here, Draskell.
Yeah, this is super bad.
This is terrible. I thought the troll could actually do it, but they lost the medallion.
Well, maybe
Song
go
of
for
the
a steal.
Siren.
Oh no, they're gonna song to secure
Sunstrike.
it. Yeah, this is no good thing.
Very well done. No-Tail picks up the Aegis. Now they're going to take the fight. S4 jumps forward, jumps on the Ember Spirit. Follow-up damage from Ana. They haven't found any kills yet. Fissure kind of breaks up the fight as now S4 on the defensive. Might get brought down here. Blink rejoins the party. They pick up 2 on the way out. It's not so clean for OG after all. Random get a couple of cleanup kills. It's about 1,000 net worth. Not too bad.
Yeah, it actually looked like it was going to be going a lot better, to be honest, with that kind of follow-up after the song. But I guess because they used a Sunstrike to actually kill Roshan, which I don't know if it was a completely necessary thing to do, because they had the song for a couple more seconds anyway. If they had the Sunstrike for when the Static Storm was up, it would have guaranteed killed the Ember, or, you know, whichever hero they cast it on, and then it probably would have been less likely that, you know, Team Random would have been able to turn that around. So a bit of a mistake there, committing the Sunstrike when it wasn't needed. Or maybe the mistake was committing to the fight after he didn't have spells or mana. Either way.
Yeah.
You know, Team Random managed to walk away with something. And they still have, you know, 3 of the 5 top net worth heroes. So.
And still great for the Naga at the end of it. Picks up the Aegis of the Immortal right at this delicate time where about to grab Relic, but still don't have the Radiance. So allows No-Tail to very safely farm. You know, doesn't really have to worry about getting ganked. Guess not a huge threat right now anyhow, but just a free insurance policy. Blade Mail on the way for Axe.
Yeah, that's a super nice thing. He's just going to skip completing the boots. I like this a lot. I think that completing boots on some heroes, especially like Blink Initiators, is not really necessary. Like, you get more value out of being closer to your next big purchase, like a Blade Mail, which Axe wants pretty much 100% of his games. And then later on, when you're like super inflated net worth because you have so many kills, then you can just go back for something like Boots of Travel, which is what I kind of expect that's going to happen this game.
Quite likely. Ember Spirit forced into an alternative build. BOTs into Yule's Scepter. I don't think ever a build you really want to go for in an ideal scenario.
Yule's is like... It used to be very common, and then it kind of fell out of favor, and he needed this game more than anything for a Dispel and a way to stop himself from taking damage in Static Storm.
Right.
Those are the only 2 like redeeming qualities, I guess, other than being able to cancel a TP after you cast Searing Chains.
Yeah, it's a good
But it's
survivability
definitely,
tool.
It is, but at the same time, if you use yourself, you're setting yourself up for a Sunstrike, you're setting yourself up for a potential kinetic field, or a blink call, or an overgrowth, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, Yule's as a defensive item is very bad. It's pretty much only good if the enemy team has like 1 way to kill you. And OG have multiple.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
It's just the best of a bad situation. It's the thing. Because he needs something, and Lotus Orb won't do anything. He doesn't have the money for BKB, nor does he want to commit the money to buy it right now. So he's got to go for an item that might not be like amazing, but it's the best chance he has for the cost.
Right. And there is some part of it's got an easy build up, you know, guaranteed steps so you can buy it in small pieces. It's a small aspect, but it adds up here. Radiance now out on No-Tail. The farming begins for the Naga Siren. A little bit later than maybe ideal, 19 minutes, but still on the mark.
I mean, you say a little bit later, but again, he was kind of left alone for a while, and they're just going to murder Blink Bottom.
Yep.
He just gets exploded by the Axe Call and the Static Storm.
Yules did not make a difference.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can't Yules yourself while you're Axe Called, so dying the stun, there's not much you can do.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's a hard game, though, honestly. Like, they put him in a very rough spot at the beginning. And, you know, to his credit, he's still got, you know, a fair amount of net worth given the circumstances. And he's, you know, level 13, so it's not like he's completely out of the game. But you would kind of have hoped that with as much pressure as they were applying to Blink, that Faith Beyond would be able to do something and, you know, kind of carry the game from the offlane. But I don't necessarily know how often he's played this hero, but it doesn't feel to me like it's something that's within his comfort zone.
Yeah. The lead starting to slip from Random. The troll was really a big part of it earlier on, but now that No-Tail has his big farming tool, Invoker not only has Midas, but also the completed Aghanims now. OG are able to farm pretty quickly, and they are finding pickoffs here and there. Axe now closing in on the Blade Mail. A lot of key items starting to come out. And it is a similar story for the Radiant. BKB now up on the Troll. Always a huge pickup. And maybe this will entice the Radiant squad to group up. Maybe look for a pickoff. An item that you can use to gain momentum.
It's a timing for sure. The one thing is, like, there's Overgrowth, and there's Axe Call, and there's Ensnare. So I'm kind of looking at this in the sense that it's a necessary purchase. Like, he needs the BKB, absolutely. But it's really hard to utilize it effectively in the game. Because what happens if he pops BKB, and then No-Tail songs, and they just net him? And no one else on his team has a BKB. He's just sitting there. And then he's like, oh,
yeah.
Right.
All of a sudden, it's a 5v1 while the rest of his team's asleep. Yeah, it's not great.
It's really rough. But he's still having like a really good game. Highest net worth. Kind of keeping his team afloat, as it were, in regards to the money category.
Yeah, going for the Manta style. Needed. And Brood was, well, has had this Orchid queued up, but just purchased a Diffusal. Oh, great item.
Yeah, he's going Diffusal Manta.
Yeah. Great for chasing people down. And also another hand of Midas now on the Treant. So players starting to buckle in towards the late game. I mean, not a big surprise when there's a Naga on one side and a Troll on the other, but embrace the farming.
Yeah, there's no rush for OG. They're going to be feeling pretty confident, I think. Your Naga's getting to the item progression you want her to be at. And Team Random are kind of running around the map right now looking for something. They might lose Ice here.
Yeah, smoke
He's
rotation.
very far from teammates. Oh, he's got no TP.
Sets it up. He does use a Dust. Sunstrike will not be on the mark. Looks like another fight breaking out on the backside, though. Disruptor gets caught, and they'll bring him down there. No-Tail and S4 going in onto the Ember Troll. BKB gets popped by Shadow, doing a lot of damage to the Axe, but here we go. Song of the Siren. Ensnare still on cooldown. It's not enough to save Axe. Not exactly the scenario we were picturing, but they set it up with Ana. They kind of missed the combo a little bit. Now No-Tail just gets focused down. Ana going to be locked down as well. It's a full team wipe for OG. Sunstrike comes in, will not find any kills, and all 5 hit the deck. Teamfight recap, not going to be much help here, but my God, there we go. What a convincing fight. That's a 3K net worth swing.
That was completely... Like, that outcome was completely unexpected. Like, the best case scenario from popping the 10-second BKB, the absolute best case, is that the Ensnare is on cooldown like that, and you're able to run down a very important hero with a inflated net worth, and that's exactly what happens. He kills S4 with the BKB. Even with the song pop, they're not able to get the kill. You know, bottom, they were going for like the Earthshaker kill, and Ice looked like he was really out of position. Just ends up baiting OG, walking into a shrine fight that they were ill prepared for.
Yeah.
They lose every single hero. Like, I was saying before how, you know, I didn't really feel like the Brood was doing that much, but, you know, after a team fight like that, you look at the net worth, and now Faith Beyond's number 3. Or I guess number 4 technically, but, you know,
still
he's going to be up there now.
Even with the Naga, and will continue to farm as he moves into Manta. The other key problem there after the Song of the Siren came out is there was no Ensnare. It was still on cooldown, so the Troll couldn't be stopped. And, you know, it's just unfortunate timing, but if No-Tail just had that a few seconds earlier, they probably could have saved the Axe, and maybe that fight could have gone differently. Still very convincing. Looking at the overall graph, a little Loch Ness Monster pops up to about 4,200 net worth and nearly 7,500 XP advantage for Team Random. Jerax walks into the Dazzle up top, connects with an Overgrowth, Sunstrike, and S4 will secure the kill. That's a nice pickoff for OG. It'll make a small dent, but they'll need a few more of those to really get control of this game.
Yeah, that Blink Dagger on Ice is going to be huge as well.
Yeah, there it is.
Like, that was such a huge turnaround. Like, they went from being kind of in this position where they're struggling to maintain control of the map to, oh god, we just wiped OG. Like, literally just killed all of them. And now OG are the ones who have, like, this defensive posturing. I mean, sure, the Naga Siren Illusions are going out. They're doing the farming thing. But, man, that was huge.
Shaker with a Shadow Blade queued up.
It's pretty common. He kind of builds the same item as Magnus, actually.
Yeah.
Your Blinks, your Shadow Blades, your Force Staffs. Sometimes you see Aghanims if the game goes, like, crazy late, or, like, Octarine or something like that.
I guess the Aghanims is somewhat viable. It's kind of a luxury item. It's a little bit gimmicky, but it is pretty obnoxious. Up top, Faith Beyond might be in some trouble, but again, it's a bait. Troll comes charging in, destroys the Disruptor. Now Jerax tries to TP home, and he will make it. Axe left behind. A set of pickoffs here for Random. Another pretty good fight. Again, BKB Song of the Siren. The Troll doesn't really seem to care. He just solos the team. Now down in the bottom lane, Ana gets dunked on by Ice, and Shadow will help finish him off. It's 3 dead all of a sudden across the map. OG
That was
are
a
in
really
trouble.
nice bait there from Shadow.
Sure
Well,
was.
the thing is, like, Ana gets put into this, like, false sense of security because he sees a TP, and he knows the Troll BKB'd. Oh, they might find Blink. Okay, defensive Ghouls. And he's out.
Remnant out.
Okay. So, when he TP'd and Ana realized there was no BKB, if he hits that tornado, he actually, you know, if the Earthshaker wasn't there, he thinks to himself, I'm going to kill this Troll if I hit this tornado. And then he kind of wants to stick around because he knows the BKB is down, ends up dying, gives away Roshan as well to Team Random. My goodness. The last, like, 5 to 8 minutes of this game has been unbelievable turnarounds from Team Random. And, like, the Earthshaker is actually coming in pretty huge. One of those heroes that is hard to make look nice, but he's doing it. Blink. Guess he didn't want to go for the kill there.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't have detection. Never mind. I thought for some reason that he had dust, but he doesn't.
All right. Slow and steady. Now that they have the Aegis, maybe finish off some of these outer towers. Still a tier 1 standing down bottom for OG. So Random could definitely start commencing a bit of the 5-man. They are farming very nicely here. Maybe just wait for the Scotty on Troll. Shadow about halfway there. And still out farming the Naga Siren.
Yeah, this Troll is massive.
Dire's middle tower
Like,
is under
sure,
attack.
No Tail didn't have the safe lane or anything like that. He didn't get the usual position 1 pampering or anything. But to be ahead of a Naga for this long, still impressive. So, for now, you know, Team Random, they kind of hold the,
Radiant's
I guess,
middle
team fight
tower
advantage, and they're going for it.
Oh, here we go. Initiation on the Invoker. That's really where it starts. No Tail pops the Song of the Siren, but it's kind of far back. Doesn't really do a hell of a lot. I guess it's enough to break up the fight, so we'll call it a success. Shadow does not use the BKB. I don't think he ever even got put to sleep. So they do disengage. Whoopsie. Meanwhile, up top, they do catch S4, and Jerax could still go down. They have a sentry ward, but he's not dusted. All right, so Random still get a pick off at the end of it.
Dire's bottom tower is
I mean,
under attack.
that's kind of what you expect in the Brood versus Axe matchup after some time is, you know, the Axe blink calls you, but with Insatiable Hunger, 140 damage and 140 lifesteal, which means that you are pretty much getting a DD rune, and you're healing more than you hit for, which is like an insane amount at this stage in the game.
Yeah, truly is. Here we go. Initiation onto the Naga Siren. Does not have the ultimate. Down for another 60. No Tail gets
Oh
blown up
my
by the
God.
Dazzle. That's that heal bomb we were talking about. Now Naga Illusion's getting finished off. Brood caught by the combo from Invoker. Ghost Walk. Ana might still be able to survive here. Fly comes in with a kinetic field. Locks him in place. Sentry Ward does get dropped, but Invoker able to survive.
Top tower is under
Again, Random getting the high value prize. It's a dead Naga. All the while, Shadows in the bottom lane split pushing this tier 1. Jerax, living armor, tries to do something. Sunstrike sets up, actually brings Shadow pretty low. Remember, he has the Aegis, but they could finish it off here. He uses the BKB. I think he would have dodged it anyhow. But now the BKB will be on cooldown. He's got the TP. Can he make it out? S4 does not have the Blink Dagger. The Berserker's Call, not quite there. And they will live. Aegis still in tow. 2 minutes till it expires, but they will hold on to it.
Dire's
And in the
middle
meantime, though,
tower
Faith
is
Beyond
under
takes the
attack.
tier 2 in the top lane. It would have been actually a really valuable pick if OG managed to scout him out, because Shadow was greedy with his BKB because he wanted to preserve the Aegis. He wanted to give them a chance to win. Oh, okay. They're going to catch here?
Unrelenting pressure. I mean, No Tail's going to live, but Song stuck on cooldown immediately. And now for the next 2 minutes, he has to play a lot more conservative.
It just seems like the pace of the game like changed on a dime. It's like that one engagement in the jungle just flipped everything on its head, and like this brood hero that wasn't really doing that much and was kind of, I was undervaluing it a bit, just comes into its own, takes towers, you know, kills S4 pretty much solo without the use of battle trance, by the way, which I really have yet to see the combination of the two, which it'll be terrifying when it happens.
Yeah.
But for now, it's kind of just OG scrambling to find something out on the map. You know, keep one lane out if you can. And it's just crazy to me that I guess in a way the Brood can keep one lane pushed in constantly, whereas Naga normally wants to push out all 3 lanes simultaneously. No Tail's having a very hard time doing that because he's either getting ran at, or the Brood's just shoving in one lane, and he's very scared to go to the others.
Well, it's a tier 2 tower in the mid lane, turned to rubble by Team Random. Still that tier 1 in the bottom lane standing, but getting more and more map control. They'll find Jerax up top. They've got the Sentry Ward down. Manta from Faith Beyond secures an easy kill despite the overgrowth. No Tail trying to get that Octarine core, but still pretty far away. Doesn't even have the soul booster yet.
Well, they do force Faith Beyond to move across the map. I guess he's just going to set up shop in bottom now because there's still a tier 1.
Yeah.
And he's probably just going to, you know, push those 2 towers, keep that lane pushed in. The rest of his team is assuming OG's jungle. And now they're kind of at the stage, you know, Lincoln's now purchased on Blink. It's going to be a lot harder to take him out.
Yeah, he's also recovered quite well.
Yeah, his laning phase was not good. He died like, what, 4 or 5 times, something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gone for kind of a different itemization, but it's working for him. Of all the Embers we've seen yesterday and today, I don't think we've seen Maelstrom until now. But it's working for him this game, and definitely a tool that lets you farm to kind of give you some extra damage in team fights and also allow you to farm neutrals very effectively.
Yeah, cheap efficiency. That's the name of the game,
right.
Maelstrom. Let's see. Roshan is going to be up soonish, a couple of minutes. And then, oh man, can OG even fight it? I guess they do have like the Wombo combo. They have the potential to land a really good song into the Static Storm and then Kinetic Field with the Meteor Deafening and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it seems like they've kind of been missing a few beats, you know? The first game they played against Team Random, they were really on point with it. Every single one was like perfect. In this game, it feels like they've messed up a lot of them.
Yeah.
And because of that, they're just hurting a lot more than they would be normally at this stage in the game. And sure, there's a lot of other things that go into it, but you know, normally their team fighting and everything is immaculate most of the time. Kind of surprising to see the fumbles so far that we've seen this game.
Ana is starting to get pretty big though. He's got the Octarine core now, and BKB going to be coming out next. So that Wombo combo gets scarier by the minute. Even though Troll is getting more and more farmed, they have options, and No Tail is still continuing to recover. He's closing that gap on the Troll, hot on his heels. Mystic Staff only a few hundred gold away, so Octarine core will be there soon. And before you know it, that ultimate's going to have a 45-second cooldown, a big jump from the 120 that he's been forced to deal with. So they'll have that readily available as we see Random. 5-hero smoke here in the mid lane. Let's see what they do with it.
Looks like the game plan now is just run down mid. Just get there as fast as possible. Fight around the webs.
Well, not going to find anything
OG
here.
Yeah. They're super scared, and I mean they should be. If they mess up and they lose a fight at this particular stage, it's potential racks. You know, depending on how many buybacks you have. The only person who can buy back right now is No Tail, so.
Oh wow.
Very tense situation.
Well, better safe than sorry at this stage.
I'm surprised that Faith Beyond didn't just stay bottom though. Like they're still a tier 1.
Yeah. Well, Triant keeps healing it up. They've gotten it very low a couple of times, but just haven't been quite able to finish it off. OG have stopped the bleeding, though. You look at that gold graph, and it's plateaued and then come back down a little bit. 35 minutes in, a 6,000 net worth lead is not a huge deal. The experience lead may be a bigger problem. You pull out that level chart, and we're going to have 3 level 25 heroes before too long, and right now OG does not have anyone that's even got the level 20 talent yet. So big disparity in terms of experience.
It's the Naga effect, though. Like, what happens is the Naga pushes out all the lanes, and the illusions don't grant experience, and no one else can farm the lanes that the Naga Siren is pushing. So, because of that, you know, you're, like, sticking together doing all this weird stuff. Ice, looking for something.
TP's out aplenty.
Okay, looks like everyone is out.
S4 does not have a TP, but he does have BKB, as well as Blink Dagger, and I think he should be good, unless they get really lucky here. And he'll be fine.
But yeah, there comes a time in every Dota game where you have a Naga on your team that sometimes it can become detrimental. And it's not really the Naga's fault. It's just that you have to push the lanes all the time. That's what Naga does. That's what makes the hero super annoying to deal with. It's just that you're taking away farm from everyone else, and you're pretty much ensuring that no one is going to get EXP, because those lane creeps are never going to die in the vicinity of your heroes. So, because of the fact that Team Random took so many good team fights consecutively and are able to just control the map as they are, they're going to be able to get EXP on all their heroes. OG will not. There will probably be like 2 or 3 high-level heroes, max, and then everyone on Random will be able to get levels, and then the team fights will dictate if OG is able to get their supports to where they want to be.
Yeah, check this out. Naga Siren going for the Diffusal Blade. We talked about that earlier in the Naga versus Medusa matchup. But here it's just going to be a Diffusal for the mana burn utility and team fights. Up top, we'll see S4 initiated on BKB, popped by Broodmother, Ice with the dunk. S4 actually doing some decent return damage, but they settle for Ana first. Allows S4 to blink away, but he still might not be completely in the clear. Living Armor helping pick him back up as Blink finally connects. He roots him, and Axe will fall. It's a set of kills for Team Random. 2 cores. Big pickoffs, and they might try to push off this.
Yeah, there's no buyback on S4, and they have a troll sitting right outside the base. They got the Dazzle as well for the sustain. They're going to have the Weave Armor as well with the Solar Crest. This is incredibly hard for OG to stop.
Well, they glyph right away. Living Armor on the tower. It buys it some time. Buyback on the Invoker. Popped, but Axe does not have one. He's in the grave for 35 seconds. Naga Siren uses the ultimate. They sort of set up the combo, but the meatball doesn't really hit anything, and the EMP doesn't connect either. BKB used by Shadow, and he's just going to focus structures. No tail force back, not a hell of a lot he can do. Disarm from Invoker does slow things down. Now Jerax comes in. He does have the overgrowth. Sunstrike split across 2 heroes. Doesn't do that much. The melee barracks fall, and now our Radiant team trying to disengage. Overgrowth comes out. Faith Beyond falls, and Shadow will get left behind. OG end up getting 2 kills, but remember, they had to buy back, and on top of that, they still didn't hold the melee barracks.
Yeah, I mean, I got the 2 of the more valuable heroes, I guess, out of the buyback, so at the end of the day, it's probably about as good as they could have asked for, considering the heroes that got picked off before the fight started.
Right.
It's still, though, it shows how difficult it is, you know, when you don't have that magical DPS. There is kind of a silver lining, though, is that if the Brood and the Axe don't, or sorry, the Brood and the Troll don't buy back, OG will get Roche. And that could actually open up an opportunity for, you know, OG themselves to force Team Random into a similar position that they were just in.
Yep, slowly but surely. Invoker will drop the Sunstrike for some extra damage, and it looks like Team Random not too wise. There will be a TP from the Ember Spirit. He'll scout this out. Ana slowly trying to take down Roche. BKB gets used by S4 and won't be able to find much avail with it. They break the link into Blink. Fly glimpses him back. This could be a kill. S4 ready and waiting. And Sunstrike will bring him down. Now Roche ripe for the taking. This should be easy for OG. 3 heroes dead. No buybacks will come out. And they will use the song just in case. Meanwhile, up top, Ice, he does finish off the Disruptor. But he's going to pay with his life here. Set up from the Yules right into S4. Berserker's Call. Well, Dunk doesn't connect, but Sunstrike's there, and Ana will get yet another. Now number 3 on net worth. So in the end, works out pretty darn well for OG. They get Roche, Aegis, and a couple of kills.
I think Team Random were just being ultra greedy with how they played that. Like, they could have bought back on one hero. You don't even need to buy back both, just buy back on one. And that'll be enough to deter OG from just sitting there and being able to kill the Roche. But what they did was, they tried to buy time with the Ember and the Earthshaker so that they didn't have to buy out, so they can get the best of both worlds, right? So they can get the Roshan stalled and fight it and potentially win, because that would just straight up win them the game, because they would all have buyouts just in case things went like really poorly for them. But instead they end up getting some heroes picked off. Sure, they didn't have to use buybacks, which means they'll have it for this defense, but it felt like they were trying to get way too much.
This is pretty scary. OG doing a lot of damage to this tower. Glyph is used, but the siege continues, and with 2 dead, they can't really stop it. It's another tier 3 tower down. Troll comes charging in, but he gets Yule's Scepter. Jerax will go down as Faith Beyond pops the BKB. Song of the Siren will not stop him. And Snare not available. No mana on the Naga. As now S4 left behind, pops the BKB. Blade Mail, follow-up damage from Ana, but it's not going to be enough. Invoker falling very quickly. Axe also goes down. Nice Deafening Blast on 3. Able to blink away. And he will live. Nicely played. But OG do lose quite a bit there.
Well, they got the tier 3, which at the very least opens up the opportunity to get shrines. And shrines are actually a fairly big deal. I mean, if you look at it from this perspective, Random got the mid melee barracks, but they're playing against a Naga Siren. So it's not like a super big deal. It's annoying for OG that they're going to get like less income from that lane. But I think in some ways, because they haven't killed the shrines either, that there's still an opportunity for OG to potentially even this up if they find the right engagements. The other thing too is, you know, Fly is very close to Aghanims, and that item is crazy strong. Like, if you get caught by Song and you don't BKB, and this is probably one of the absolute strongest things about this particular combination of heroes, you cannot BKB afterwards because the Song will overlap with the Static Storm, and then you will never be able to BKB and you will just die.
Yeah.
So there kind of comes this stage where the Disruptor comes into this really, really scary state of, oh god, if we get Songed in a bad way, we can just get wiped out.
Yeah.
Because of the Aghanims.
Now, one of the other things to remember, Butterfly up on Naga. So evasion on these illusions, which they don't have a great solution for either. MK... Oh, never mind. MKB is up on Troll. Never mind. I take it back. Troll is well equipped.
Yeah, he's going straight into Satanic as well, so he's going to ditch the Vlads. That'll probably be his 6th slot. Obviously, he can still get bots and Moonshard, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, Shadow has been farming exceptionally well this game.
Yeah, No Tail's finally pulled ahead. He's got about a 5k margin on him, but that'll happen once things start to get this late. There's that Aghanim Scepter you were talking about. Jerax actually working on 1-2, only 400 gold away on the Treant. He's got the gem now, but Tree Ags also a potential turning point in this game in favor of OG. Ice sets up mid lane onto Invoker. Follow-up damage is there, and say goodbye to the Aegis. OG on the way in. Here's the setup from No Tail.
Oh, they can catch the Troll.
This is the debut. Fly. Static Storm. Does not... Oh, there it is. Troll Warlord gets low. S4 trying to finish him off, but he can't quite do it. BKB's popped aplenty. It's No Tail doing the big damage here. They finally bring down the Troll. Ice somehow still alive. Faith Beyond brings down the Treant. Blink comes back in to do a lot of damage, but No Tail and Ana are doing so much. The double Octarine cores are sustaining them through this fight, and the Ember Spirit just doesn't have it. It's an ultra kill for No Tail. A 2 for 4. The Brood just barely survives because he's able to make it to the high ground. A very convincing fight once more.
They're gonna... I think they actually just lost the game. I actually just think they lost because they don't have any buybacks. Bottom is completely open. Ana doesn't know, though. He's scared. He's playing back. He doesn't want to give anything away. No Tail, he's got bots in 20 seconds. Axe is coming in. That was like... My goodness, you could not have actually gotten a better engagement if you're OG. They go on the hero that has Aegis. He has BKB in his backpack, so when he comes back up, he's got magic immunity pretty much. They catch the Troll with the Aghanim Static Storm. He can't BKB. He's dropped super low. No Satanic. So he can't even heal himself, even if he was able to pop the BKB in the first place. Even with S4 biffing on the dunk, they still kill him. Like, oh man, that has to hurt so bad.
On the back, they catch the Broodmother. Well. She does have a buyback, uses it right away, but Barracks will fall. Ana just pushing them back. EMP, deafening blast. Brood trying to press forward to save the barracks, but Melee have already gone down. Has to use the BKB to survive. Now Song of the Siren just for setup. Earthshaker came out almost like he was looking for a dunk, but not going to be able to find it. The tier 2 tower mid did go down, and OG will continue the siege. Everybody's still kind of topped off. I guess they're low on mana, so they will retreat, but 2 lanes of barracks down, and I think you're right, Draskell. That last whiff team fight might have just cost them the game. OG now happily in control. You look at that gold graph, and they are in the lead.
I mean, they didn't get Mega'd, so when you're
It's
not
not
Mega'd, there's
over.
always a chance.
Yeah,
but
it's not over. But
the problem is it's double laned against a Naga. That's like, ooh, that's a rough place to be, especially when there's only one MKB carrier on your team, and that's the troll. Like, he needs to be the one killing the illusions at this point. They don't have any like hexes or mana drains or anything to be able to reliably get those illusions off the map fast. Man, that team fight was actually so hard to watch because they didn't know that he had Aghanims.
exactly.
Because there's no way they jump him like that if they know the Disruptor has Ags, because they're just going to kill the troll. You know, Shadow is feeling super tanky before that point. He's like, oh yeah, whatever. If I get Static Storm, I'll just BKB. It's not a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That is one of the best Aghanims reveals on Disruptor I think I've ever seen in terms of catching an enemy off guard. Now, you always talk about Blink Dagger reveals and that kind of stuff, but an absolute game changer here. Going back to buyback status, what do we got? Brood, the only one on cooldown, so not as bad as it could be. But for Team Random, hanging on by a thread. And now with Treant Aghanims, he's going to start to take over this area. He actually doesn't have that many trees down yet, but he is going to take over this forest, Draskell.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a 29-second cooldown. Like, pretty much 30, I guess, if you want to count it that way with the cooldown reduction talent. But it's kind of that thing that we were joking about during the draft when you get to this stage in the game, when the Aghanims is up and the Naga has all the items she needs, that the lanes are just never going to push out. It's like, you gotta jump somehow, find the picks and the important heroes at the beginning of the fight, and just kind of like run at them as hard as you can and hope that it's going to work. It's a very, very tough spot to be right now if you're Team Random.
Tornado comes flying through. Doesn't find anything. Ana is decked out, though. That's a Shiva's Guard now, in addition to everything else. 9-second BKB still. Initiation. Song of the Siren.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, wait, Fly's not there. Fly's not there.
Well, Slam Dunk comes out. It does actually nothing to Ana. Now Sunstrike. But, yeah, kind of whiffed from OG. I mean, not the end of the world. Ana does use the BKB. It's a really short cooldown.
I mean, it's going to...
I mean, Naga's got it back in
25
seconds. Yeah. So it's not a big deal. Even the Disruptor ult, pretty short cooldown, 70 seconds. Not that bad.
Well, considering how potent it is at this stage in the game, heck yeah, super good.
As for the one carrying the gem right now, so Brood needs to be kind of careful. Working on an Abyssal Blade for Faith Beyond. Big lockdown. Already has the Skull Basher. OG just being very cautious here. Slow sieging with the Naga illusions. As well as the Forge Spirits. But this tower, it's going down. I mean, they are doing pretty effective chip damage.
It's like the slow death by 1,000 cuts, you know?
Yep.
They're just going to keep doing it.
All right, here we go. This is Ember Spirit. No Troll, but they're still going to set it up with the Static Storm Kinetic Field. He does get helped out by the Dazzle. Shallow Grave comes. BKB from Shadow as he jumps out. But it's not doing a hell of a lot. It does repel some of OG. Now Faith Beyond pops his BKB. Faith Beyond comes out, tries to protect his troll friend. But Ana sends out the Tornado, isolates the troll. Now the Overgrowth from Jerax. Troll disarmed. S4 reinitiates, jumps onto... Oh, Troll actually getting really low. Another Grave comes out. Ana throws him up. I think this is going to be the end of the Troll. He does have a buyback. Maybe not the end for Team Random. But they will lose Ice as well. Ana so healthy still. These Octarine cores just doing so much. Double buyback. Tier 3 tower taking damage, though, as Naga Illusions continue to push in. Death by 1,000
Now
cuts
this
indeed.
is- I mean, everyone's been in this situation, so I think everyone can empathize with the whole, oh god, the Naga Siren's pushing in our side lanes, oh god, we can't like win the fight and defend our base at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a very, very rough situation to be in.
So 2 buybacks used. More economic damage. OG furthering that lead. And now they pretty much just have to do that one more time. Chi's been sitting in the pit. The aged Gouda as Roche respawns. So maybe this will be the nail in the coffin. Again, OG did finish off that tier 3 tower, so it's just barracks. However, there is a glyph. Overgrowth. Also,
Yeah, he's just doing it to kill the creeps.
pretty short cooldown too. Here's the troll. Is the disruptor here? There it is. Static Storm, Kinetic Field. They'll set it up, but Broodmother's there. Troll gets to the side as S4 pops his BKB, tries to isolate him, but they don't have the damage on Troll. Meanwhile, on the backside, Fly taking a lot of damage. S4 falls, and it's not looking great for OG. Ana has to pop the BKB, but he's kind of isolated. Gets bashed up by the Broodmother, and that'll be the end of him. OG lose 3, and Team Random have actually held this. And now they're going to push back the other way. They might be able to force some buybacks, but they need to get back and defend as creeps are killing some of their safety structures.
I think Ana actually really messed up there. He deafeninged the troll when he was hitting S4 with Blade Mail. I think if he didn't deafening and he used like another damage spell, he probably would have killed the troll.
Yeah. And he also
Instead
pushed
of-
him out.
Yeah, he pushed him out as well. So now, like, all of a sudden, Team Random have this opportunity to actually go for the Roche. I mean, sure, there's Naga illusions there, but mid's not pushed in. So if mid's not pushed in, there's nowhere else to really deal damage unless No-Tail wants a TP. He's gonna Song.
Well, there's nothing else. Can No-Tail do this
I
alone?
think they might need buybacks. Oh no, they're just gonna let it go.
Yeah. They do use BKBs. Ice comes to scout things out. And that'll be it. Aegis of the Immortal goes the way of Shadow.
Well, their base is going to be in trouble here soon. They have a little bit of time because they have tier 4s. Okay, wings are just going to immediately back. So it's, when you're at this stage in the game and you just get Roshan away, I mean, sure, you got the Ember to counter push and stuff, but at some point you're going to have to fully commit to the fight, right? And that means your base is going to take damage. So when that happens, you need to either have a hero who can go back, or you can use the tier 4s as kind of like this buffer to where that's like your time to be able to take the fight without losing too much. Because once the tier 4s are gone, then you're just getting chipped on your throne, and that's a really, really hard thing to deal with. So it's going to get a little bit harder, I think, for Team Random to just freely leave the base for obvious reasons. And they're still a tier 1 bottom. So if they're going to go for the win, I don't know if they just claim the money from this lane or if they want to go just all in mid. Like, I'm actually kind of torn on what the right call is here, because it's very unlikely that I think they're going to be able to get bottom all the way pushed in with mid as well.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they'll just get mega'd, right? It's being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
It's a precarious situation, no doubt. Also, Refresher has come out on the Treant. So double overgrowth now in these fights. And his trees have actually been cleared out. Do they have Quelling Blades? Yeah, it looks like they do. Ice has been carrying one around, as has the Dazzle. And they've actually been dealing with the Treant Agonists pretty effectively. Look at that mini-map, and there aren't really that many down. It's pretty good.
Yeah, they've been pretty diligent about it. They have been off that side of the map for a while, though, if you think about it, because they lost the fight, they took Roche, no one bought back on the side of OG, and then, you know, they have just now, like for the first time, gone back over there. They're going to go for the Song play here.
All right, Ember Spirit. He's going to be locked down. No options. Static Storm, Kinetic Field. The combo they need. Ember, of course, does have a buyback here. Else will be respawning in 90 seconds.
Can
Slow
they
and
hold?
steady.
That is the question.
Well, probably. Will Ember have to buy back, I think, is the more pressing question. Doesn't look like they're going to pressure it.
I mean, it's pretty dangerous. It's pretty. You're basing everything off of buybacks. So right now, everyone on the side of OG has buyback. 3 heroes on the side of Team Random do not. For obvious reasons, we know that. They don't. So they're playing around the idea that everyone always has buyback because that's just what you do. You just assume.
Right.
So it's very, very tough for them to commit.
Oh, here we go. Initiation onto Ana, set up by the Earthshaker, but he gets slam dunked as S4 counter initiates. Hex comes out onto Broodmother. Follow-up Sunstrike. It's a set of kills. And all of a sudden, 3 in the grave. Buyback from the Brood. Dazzle also gets picked off in the fray. Looks like No-Tail was able to solo him in the base while that fight was going on. Now the second buyback comes. It's a 5v3. Troll manages to get off the BKB. And OG will just disengage. They see the buybacks, and they'll be happy with that economic damage.
They only have to do it one more time. I mean, like we talked about earlier, the song committal is not that big of a deal. Very low cooldown, only 45 seconds. Didn't commit the Static Storm either, which means that if they walk in, they get that combination off one time. You know, Faith Beyond, no buyback. Blink, no buyback. They catch one of those heroes, they're just gone.
Yeah. Now, Troll's buyback, as well as Earthshaker's, both coming up in about 30 seconds. Troll has the money for it. Earthshaker doesn't. They've lost the ranged barracks. Melee, the last one standing. Illusion's actually doing a lot of work here. There's no Echo Slam for 40. And Song of the Siren from No-Tail actually does keep the Troll Warlord alive. But Static Storm Kinetic Field connects on 3. Oh my, it's huge. The follow-up from Jerax as well. He's refreshed. That's the second overgrowth. The Troll goes down. The Ember falls, and this Broodmother going to be following suit. Now Troll comes back to life, but it doesn't matter. GG's called, and that'll be it. OG manages to take the series 2-1 over Team Random, but my God, did they make them work for it, Draskell. One hell of a best of 3.
Man, you know, you asked me like 20 minutes ago, I would probably say that Team Random would have won this game. It was very back and forth. There were some stages in the game where it looked like OG was getting everything they wanted, then Team Random take a couple of really nice team fights, and then the great equalizer, the Disruptor Aghanims. My God, did that thing actually just totally destroy them. Because the reveal
turned the whole
of it
game.
Was... Yeah, the reveal of it when they killed Shadow, that was like all the momentum that Team Random had was just gone. Because they go on the Aegis Carrier, he comes back, he has his BKB to pop on the Invoker, and they get caught out by that combination, and then at that point they just lost all map control for pretty much the rest of the game. They didn't really get it back, I guess a little bit when they went for the Roshan.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, OG, they pulled it through in the end. Very well played.
Still an impressive series. Team Random really looked good. I guess game 1, fairly convincing for OG, but games 2 and 3, very close. Shadow with really a dominant Troll performance. I mean, he farmed like an absolute madman that game. Well positioned, but massive team fight coordination out of OG. Well, buddy, that'll do it for us. We've got more games coming up on this channel, and I believe it is Coddle Guy and Lacoste that are going to be taking over for us. I'm not sure which series they have next. It depends on the results of this heat that is probably still wrapping up. So you have to stay tuned to see what's coming up next here. I'm Zyori. He's Draskell. Thank you so much for joining us for this epic series. Andy, any closing thoughts, closing sentiments for the viewers out there?
I mean, I'm just happy that I got to watch like this series. This was a really, really fun series to watch. Had a good time casting with you, and obviously hope to get to do more stuff in the future. It was fun.
Yeah, for sure. So this will be the end of the group stage today, folks. There's an off day, and then the main event begins. So a day of rest, and then a lot of Dota to be consumed. 16 teams will be squaring off in that big, massive bracket. Very exciting stuff. So take care. We'll see you next time.